you talking about?
Oh, when Mike came to visit me, he slipped me some stuff.
You mean you planted it in the library?
Yeah, I made a false spot in one of them pottery things, and I stashed it there.
What of all the nongs? How are we going to get it back if we're not going to Andrew's classes?
Oh, forget about it. It'll be safe enough. All we have to do is wait until Andrews is sincere.
Look, Burns, can you stop asking stupid questions and get into work?
Excuse me, Miss Bennett. I've got to go somewhere. It's important.
Oh, all right.
You have been here 3 days, Miss Dean, and frankly, I expected more of you. You have been told repeatedly to refer everything to a senior officer.
I wanted to prove I could do a good job.
The women were testing you, Miss Dean, and you fell for the oldest trick in the book. Usually, they only let officers hear what they want them to hear.
In all fairness, Mrs. Davidson, I was taken in too. The library was left unlocked.
I'm well aware of that, Mr. Andrews. I do not like the inmates thinking my staff are fools.
But why would they want me to destroy all their work?
It's a way of getting at me.
And they used a member of staff to do it. I do not want to appear harsh, Miss Dean, but unless your work improves, I can only assume you are totally unsuited to hold the position.
What's the matter?
Oh, everything. I have been making mistake after mistake ever since I started this job. I can't seem to find the right way to handle things. They set me up and I fell for it. Hook, line and sinker. I overheard... They let me overhear them making plans to get into the library. It sounded as though they were after something they'd stashed in a false bottom in the pottery they've been making.
Well, I don't know why you're making all this fuss. You reported it and nothing was found. At the worst, it makes you look a bit gullible.
Well, I thought that if I could handle it myself, then I could prove that I was a good officer, that I was competent.
What do you mean, handle it yourself?
Well, it sounded as though there was something really important in that pottery, maybe dope or something, so I tried to find it. I went into the library and broke all the pottery.
You what?
I know I should have come to you first.
Any one of the senior officers could have handled it for you, but it's a bit late to talk about that now.
You handled this job so well. I bet you never made mistakes like this when you first started.
We all make mistakes. The thing you've got to be on your guard against most is the women. They're inveterate liars. The moment you start to think of them as normal human beings, they've got you. They're animals. Treat them that way and they won't be able to play their little games.
I suppose so.
The best way to learn how to handle them is to watch someone who knows the job. I'll help you all I can. Just keep an eye on the way I do things. And remember what I said. Don't ever expect them to behave like human beings. They're not. Watch them and never show them any softness, or they'll destroy you.
I know you're upset about the destruction of the women's work, but surely you must see that her motives were not vindictive.
I know that, but she doesn't quite know how to handle the job, does she?
Well, it takes time for everyone to adjust to the conditions in here. Surely you must realize that as well as anyone.
Yes, well, I should be the last one to criticise. I haven't exactly been a howling success, have I?
Well, you do seem to have been getting through to some of them finally.
Well, I can't help Georgie or anyone else at the moment, not as long as my classes are boycotted. I'm going to have to do something about that straight away.
Do you have anything specific in mind?
Yes, I'm going to talk to B. Smith. If anyone can change their mind, she can.
Come in.
Lizzie Birdsworth's outside, Mrs. Davidson. She'd like a word with you.
Very well.
Come on, Lizzie.
Yes, Lizzie, what is it?
Well, I'm still feeling a bit crook from me fainting spell yesterday, and I was wondering if I could have a day outside.
I'm sorry, Lizzie, but there's no justification for a day release. If you're still feeling ill, you may take a rest in your cell.
Oh, but that's not the same, Mrs. Davidson. I really think a change and some fresh air do me good.
I would have thought that yesterday you had enough fresh air and change of pace to last you for quite some time, Lizzie. You may take her back now, Mr. Fletcher.
You are a hard woman.
Oh, it must be rather hard for her in here with no friends or family to visit.
Not an easy thing at her age.
I think I'll get in touch with the volunteer prison visiting service. They may have someone about her age who could visit her.
Well, I'm sure someone that she can relate to would make her less lonely.
Will you stop staring at me like that? You're driving me bonkers.
I'm sorry.
Sitting there sulking isn't going to change anything, you know. Why don't you practice your reading or something?
What's the point?
Do you want to spend your life in and out of places like this? Now, you've got a chance. Don't blow it, Georgie.
What chance? The parole board's not going to let me out after what Andrews told him. Besides, I made trouble.
Will you listen to her? Look, I'm not talking about the lousy parole board. I'm talking about the rest of your life.
Okay. I'll practice me reading. You still going to help me?
I said I would, didn't I?
Yeah, I hope that new screw jokes.
I don't think you can worry about her anymore. She'll be a bit careful who she crosses from now on.
Hey, you really think they'll let me out of parole?
You keep your nose clean and keep learning to read, and I'm sure that'll impress them.
You reckon?
Yeah, I reckon. Now, will you just read?
Well, I can't teach a class where there are no students.
What are you going to do about it?
Want to see Georgie Baxter?
Hello, Mike. How are you?
I'm okay.
Can't do everything.
Can I see her? Please?
All right, you can wait for her in the interview room while I get her, but sign in first.
She'll be pleased to see you.
Yeah, I suppose.
Come on.
He's a rough-looking character, isn't he?
With someone like that, she'll be in trouble before she knows it.
Well, I've got some good news that should make you feel better.
Good news. I've forgotten what that is.
I'm actually having a little success as a careers officer. I've managed to find Georgie a job.
That is good news. How'd you manage that?
Well, it wasn't easy. Oh, it's only fairly simple work in a supermarket. The manager didn't want to touch her at first.
Well, you must have been pretty persuasive.
Actually, it was the story of Georgie's deafness that did the trick. When I explained what her life was like because of it and how hard she was trying to learn, he was only too willing to give her a hand.
Well, that's wonderful. It's just what she needs at the moment, to be trusted and responsible for herself. But I'm still not sure that she's ready for it yet.
Good day, George. How you going?
I'm okay. Hey, the parole board's coming tomorrow. They're going to see me.
Oh, yeah? You think you got a chance?
Maybe.
Oh, beauty. A mate of mine's got a room going. If you get out, we can take it over. It'll be real good.
Oh, I reckon.
Thank you.
You want to talk to me?
Look, Bea, I think there's been a misunderstanding between us, which I'd like to clear up.
I haven't misunderstood a thing. You didn't think we'd find out about what you said to the parole board about Georgie. Well, we did. So I don't think we've got anything to say to each other, do you?
Yes, I do. At least hear me out.
All right, I'm listening.
It's about Georgie.
I rather gathered that.
Well, we both agree that what she needs is an education. That's the only way she's going to make it on the outside, right?
It doesn't alter the fact that you let her down, and us.
Look, Bea, I know it's bad in here.
How the hell would you know what it's
All right,
like
Bea,
in here?
I admit that no one knows what it's really like, not unless they're on your side of the bars. But you've got to believe that my motives were good. Now, all I thought about was that she was starting to learn. If she left now, that would be the end of it. I want the best for her, for all of you. I simply thought that she'd be better off with a bit more learning time before she got out.
Look, I agree with you. She's got to learn. But nothing, and I repeat, nothing is a good enough reason for keeping anyone in here 1 minute longer than necessary.
Well, I honestly didn't realize how strongly you all felt until the demonstration in the garden.
Well, now you know. So where do we go from here?
Well, I can't help any of your friends if you don't come to classes. Call off the boycott and they'll come back again. Will you do it?
What about Georgie?
I still think she needs more time.
You withdraw your objections or no deal.
I guess there's no other way. The parole board can make up their own decisions. I won't make any attempt to stop her getting out now. That's what they decide. If she stays in, I'll help her as much as I can. Good enough?
Okay, a truce. I'll get the women started back to classes. But I don't usually give second chances, and I won't compromise again. I can pull those women out any time I like. I'll go and get things started. But no games. Because you give me a reason for pulling those women out. And this time it'll be permanent.
you two. I haven't got all day. Come on, hurry up. What do you think you're doing, Birdsworth? Get out of that bed.
Just coming, Miss Bennett. I was lying here thinking about this dream that I had. Oh, good. It was lovely.
What do you think this is, a holiday camp? Now get out of there.
I said I was coming. I was thinking about this
No
dream.
one is interested, Birdsworth. When you're told to move, move.
God! What have I done?
Come on, Lizzie. You're too old for those sort of dreams anyway.
She's just as rotten as that Vera.
Yeah, something's going to have to be done about her. The last thing we need around here is another screw like Vera.
Mr. Justice Miles, chairman of the parole board.
How do you do, sir?
I see by your report that you're recommending against parole for the prisoner.
I did feel that way, yes, sir. You see, Baxter had some extraordinary learning problems, which we only discovered while she was in here. I felt that a bit more time spent in class before she got out would be of enormous benefit to her future. But I've since been shown in a very real way how strongly the women feel about being inside, and I'd like to withdraw my objection to her parole.
Well, surely you're not suggesting that we grant parole to prisoners simply because they don't like being inside.
No, of course not, sir. It's just that in this case, being kept in would do more harm than good.
You mean because she is surrounded by a criminal element?
Yes, there is that. But more importantly, Baxter's resentment at being kept in would stop her from coming to any more classes. It would inhibit her education rather than anything else. It would bring about just what I'm trying to avoid.
I do understand your concern, and of course we will bear in mind what you say. However, there are more things to consider. Her record in prison has not been good.
Now remember, all property must be signed for by the prisoners when it's confiscated. After all, we don't want them accusing us of stealing from them when it comes time for them to leave. Now, don't worry about today. You shouldn't have anything more to contend with than just some visitors. So you get to writing up those reports, and I'll leave you to it.
If you need a hand with anything, just let me know.
Oh, thanks. I should be all right.
Good morning.
Yes, may I help you?
Oh, yes. My name's Ivy Butcher. I've come to see Lizzie Birdsworth.
Oh, just a moment. The prisoner hasn't had any other visitors this week. What is your relationship to Birdsworth?
Oh, how foolish of me. I'm from the Volunteer Prison Visitor Service. I have my card here somewhere.
Right, everything seems to be in order. If you could just sign the visitor's book and then go out to the garden, someone will bring her out to you.
Good. Thank you.
Reception. Do you know where it is?
Yes, I think so. Thank you.
Yes, right away.
The parole board is ready to see Baxter now.
Oh, well, I'll see to it. Can you manage by yourself while I'm away?
Yes. Can I manage by myself while she's away? Honestly.
Mrs. Morris, there's a visitor for Birdsworth from the Volunteer Visitor Service.
Lizzie, a visitor for you.
Come on, Birdsworth, we haven't got all day. Oh, and Baxter's wanted in the governor's office. The parole board is meeting. Oh, and by the way, Mrs. Davidson said it's no longer necessary to lock the laundry.
Well, that's a relief.
Hey, Georgie, the parole board wants to see you.
Bonza, George, you give him hell.
Stay cool.
All right, that's enough. There's no need for all this noise. It only concerns Baxter.
Blanket.
Did you say something, Birdsworth?
Nothing, Miss Dean.
Would you take Lizzie down to reception and organise her visit, please? Right, everybody, back to work.
Well, well, looks like Meg doesn't like her any more than we do.
G'day.
Oh, hello. My name's Ivy Butcher. I'm from
you volunteer to come and visit people.
Why don't we just sit down and have a chat?
Why do you do it? I mean, come and visit people you don't even know.
Well, I suppose at my age, my life's not as full as it could be. It makes me feel good to help out a bit. I know what it's like to be lonely.
Yeah, stinks getting old, doesn't it?
Oh, isn't it lovely here?
Yeah, real nice. You know, I'm real glad you come to visit me.
Thank you.
Georgie Baxter to see you, Mrs. Davidson.
Thank you, Mrs. Morris.
Well, Miss Baxter, you know why you're here. We have considered all the recommendations in your case, but we would like to hear from you before we make a final decision.
If you let me out, I'll go straight, I promise.
I see by these reports that you've been in quite a lot of trouble in the short time you've been in here.
Yeah, well, I didn't... I couldn't understand what no one was saying. I couldn't hear him. And then Mr. Andrews fixed it all up for me.
What Georgie is trying to say is that she had a severe hearing disability. She's had an operation, and since then her hearing has been restored to normal.
Yeah, you see, all my life I thought I was real dumb. I couldn't understand what no one was talking about. I couldn't learn to read or nothing. And when people was laughing, I thought they was laughing at me. So I'd get real mad and I'd start yelling and I'd hit things. I don't feel like that anymore. It's all different, and now I'm starting to learn to read, and when I get out, I'm going to keep on learning, and I'm going to get a real good job, and, well, I just reckon you should let me out because I haven't had a fair go.
And have you many friends outside?
No, only a couple. I've made lots of friends in here, and they don't think I'm dumb.
Yes, well, thank you, Miss Baxter. We'll take what you say into consideration before we make our decision.
Thank you, Georgie. Would you take Georgie outside, please, Mrs. Morris?
I've got something to say to the board, if that's at all possible.
Well, yes, of course.
Wait outside, will you please, Georgie?
Thanks.
It was a real beaut day.
Yes, I enjoyed it too. Perhaps we could make it a longer visit next time.
Yeah, and then we can have a real chin wag.
Well, see you soon, Lizzie.
Yeah, goodbye, Ivy.
Bye.
Excuse me. You haven't signed out.
Sorry, dear. I seem to be a bit absent-minded today.
What happened?
Well, come inside, Georgie. You'll hear better there.
We have reviewed your case very carefully. Naturally, we have had to take into account your behavior since you've been here in Wentworth. However, because of the disadvantages that you've been under and the effect that this must have had on your behavior, we have decided to grant you parole.
Oh, thanks.
Now, there are certain strict rules governing parole. You must not mix or associate with anybody not approved of by your parole officer. Now, this may well mean giving up some of your old acquaintances.
Yeah, okay.
And you must also stay away from places designated by your parole officer. And you must report any change in address or employment. It has been decided that your parole will run for the balance of your sentence, that is 3 months. Now, during this time, you must not leave the state. Now, there is one more proviso. You must undertake to continue your education as directed by your parole officer.
Oh, that's great. I was wondering where I was going to go to class and stuff.
Well, a major factor in our decision was the fact that the careers officer, Mrs. Morris, has found you a job. I should imagine that pleases you.
Oh, a job? Oh, Mrs. Morris, I don't know how to thank you.
What do you think you're doing in this corridor unsupervised? I could put you on report for this.
Look, I'm supposed to be here. I'm taking this stuff to the laundry. You put me on report for this. God, you really haven't got a clue, have you?
Don't you dare!
I know. Don't you dare speak to me like that. Am I supposed to be scared of you or something? You know, we all think you're a big joke acting like Vera and looking exactly like you do, like a stupid little kid.
I'll forget you said that this time. Now, just get onto the laundry. I'll be in to check on you, so no games.
Oh, and I had such big plans, too.
So it's back to classes, ladies. Understood? What are you doing?
Nothing, Bea.
Oh, just a bit of sewing. I'm making Christmas presents.
Yeah, and I'm Santa Claus.
Geez, that new warder's a dill.
What's happened now?
She tried to pull a Vera on me. Told me off for being in the corridor on my own. Anyway, I told her she was stupid and she got real upset because now she can't report me without looking worse than she already does.
Yeah, we haven't finished with her yet.
Hey, I'm getting out. They're giving me my parole.
Oh, it's terrific, kid. I didn't think you had a hope in hell. Now, remember, I don't want to see you back in here.
She'll be back. She won't be able to stay out of trouble even for a week.
Knock it off, Doreen.
Look, I'm supposed to be packing my stuff. I better go.
Good on you.
Oh, she does look happy. It must be nice to know that you're really going to get out of here.
The poor girl's had a very hard time in life. She really deserved a second chance.
Yes, I'm very pleased about the board's decision.
What we really need is a resident parole officer in each prison. You know, with our decisions resting, well, solely on reports of behavior inside and cold facts on previous lifestyle, I sometimes wonder if our decisions are as good as they could be.
Well, there's so little personal contact.
Yes. Ex-prisoners would relate far better to someone that they got to know, well, as people rather than case numbers. I'm afraid we just don't have the time or the staff to cope.
I know what the job consists of in general terms, but could you tell me a little bit more about what a resident parole officer's functions would cover?
I'll be back to pick you up in 10 minutes.
Well, you all set?
Yeah, no, believe it. I'll miss you.
Listen, kid, you've got to forget me and everybody else in here. Start clean.
Oh, I could never forget you. You've been so good to me.
Well, the best thanks you can give me is for me never to see you again. Come on, you know what I mean? I want you to go straight. And that means forgetting everything in here, understand?
Yeah, I understand. Thanks.
Good luck, kid.
I see you finally arrived, Burns.
I've been here for some time. Of course, I would have been here earlier, but I got held up by somebody in the corridor.
What are you up to, Birdsworth?
Here we go again.
Did you say something, Burns?
Nothing, Miss Dean, just trying to get on with our work.
We'll see that you do. Otherwise, I can arrange some extra duties for you.
Ah, Miss Dean. Miss Bennett's looking for you down the corridor. Sounded pretty important.
Right, get back to work, all of you.
I hope Vera finds her something to do that keeps her busy for a while. She's a real pain.
Who?
Dean the Dill.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, me neither.
Okay, girls, time for a fag. I wonder what she's up to.
What is it?
I beg your pardon?
You sent for me. Smith said it was important.
Oh, you still haven't learned. You can never trust these women.
Those bitches. I'll teach them.
Screw.
All right, Smith, what's the idea?
What idea?
You know damn well Miss Bennett didn't want to see me. What's so funny, Burns? Right!
All right, Burns, that's enough.
Me? I didn't do anything. She was going to bash me.
Yeah, who does she reckon she is? She's always getting at people for nothing at all.
She's an officer, that's who she is. And you're all prisoners.
And we've just about had it up to the eyeballs. If someone doesn't do something about her, there's going to be trouble.
That's enough,
I'll
Smith.
handle this.
But it's just...
Wait outside.
I didn't do anything, Miss Bennett. She came for me.
I've had enough of you, Burns. Now get back to work.
I didn't.
I said get back to work or you'll find yourself up on another charge. And that goes for the rest of you. Now get back to work.
If she doesn't do something about that pet of hers, she's going to find out what trouble really is. I am rapidly losing my sense of humour.
I'll see you in the morning then. I'll pick you up around about 8. After that, you'll have to find your own way there. But that shouldn't be too difficult. There's a tram stop right near the supermarket.
I bet it's okay. Mike can drop me off half the time.
Can you give me an address?
Oh, yeah. I wrote it out while I was waiting to be let out. Yeah. You reckon I'll be able to handle this job okay?
Of course you will. Now, it's quite a large supermarket and they train all their staff.
Great.
Well, I'll see you in the morning then.
I really appreciate you dumping me, Mrs. Morris. Thanks.
That's quite all right. Goodbye, Georgie.
Bye.
You should have heard the way she spoke to me in the corridor before, and then to be made a fool of by Smith, sending me on that wild goose chase to see you. I just lost control.
That's no excuse. You don't hit a prisoner, ever.
But they were...
I don't care how they talk to you. What did you expect? Sweetness and light? They're animals, and you never, never lose control in front of them. Understood?
I'll never get the hang of this job. I just don't know where to start. I wish I were more like you. You're so in control.
You'll get used to it.
I have been trying to watch you and do things the way you do, but it doesn't make any difference. I still keep making mistakes.
Next time you have a problem, come and talk it over with me. I'd be glad to give you advice.
Will there be any trouble over what happened in the laundry, do you think?
There would have been if anyone else had seen you. Luckily, I was the only one, so it'll be all right. If you're not busy tonight, you're welcome to come for dinner. We could talk a little bit more about how things work in here.
Oh, that'd be really nice. I'd love to come. I haven't had much of a social life lately.
Good. Well, we can leave together after work. We finish at the same time.
Good place, huh? I said good place.
Hey!
You think I should have cleaned it up for you? Good old roll in the cot and old Georgie won't even notice.
Oh, yeah, look, the sheets are filthy.
Hey, you can hear real good.
Told you I could. I'm off it, Mike.
Come on, baby, I want you.
Get off. It's a chance to get used to things.
Listen, what do you think I got this room for? You know what it's all about.
No, you think about.
It's all you're good for, baby.
We needn't worry about Dean any longer. She's in really bad with Davey and she's awful shaky.
Yeah, maybe so, but even if she stays, it's going to be like having two Veras hanging round.
Don't worry, we'll break her. We'll just keep stirring until she either breaks down or leaves.
Yeah, she doesn't seem very confident to me.
You wouldn't be either if you made all those mistakes.
Yeah, a little help from us.
Well, Vera's got a new girlfriend. Come on, Mars, have you now? Don't they look pretty together?
They even look a bit alike.
Oh, now, Hazel, there's no need for that insult.
I'm not sure which one I'm insulting.
That's enough, Kent. All right, everybody, inside.
Oh.
Thank you.
Where's Lizzie?
Here I am, Mrs. M. Just wandering around enjoying a bit of fresh air.
What are you up to, Lizzie?
Oh, me? Nothing, babe.
Come off it, Lizzie. You've been acting funny all day.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Have had some tucker. I've worked up an appetite.
No, I've got to clean up first.
What do you mean? This place is all right. Just get me some food. Leave that, will you? There's some cheese and stuff around here somewhere. I said leave it now. I'm hungry.
Look, I've got to clean up first. A pig wouldn't live like this.
Listen, slut, you do as you're told. I'll have to knock you around a little.
Don't you talk to me like that anymore.
What are you talking about? What's the matter with you, George?
You've got to stop treating me like I'm dumb, like I'm only good for bed and do what you tell me.
You said it, baby, I didn't. Now do what you're told.
Not anymore. I've done clean up, that's what
Give it
I'm
out!
doing.
You're gonna do as you're told?
No! No!
You
bastard! I'm through with you! You're a pig! I'm not doing what you tell me to do anymore!
I'll teach you, dummy. I'll teach you.
Bastard, I'm not done. I'm getting out of here! You keep away from me, you pig!
You dumb bitch!
You sound as though you didn't have any trouble at all. You seem to have been able to cope right from the start.
I had one advantage over you. I knew from the first day those prisoners weren't like normal people. Some of them had had more of a chance in life than I had, and look where they've ended up. As soon as I started to treat them like the animals they are, things sorted themselves out.
But surely some of them...
Oh, that's where you're making your first mistake. You look on them as individuals, as people with normal reactions. You've got to remember that they're all the same.
But not everyone thinks the way you do. There's Mrs. Morris, for instance. She doesn't seem to... Well, that is, she treats them differently, and she seems to manage all right.
You were going to say that I hate them, weren't you? Well, it's quite true. They revolt me. Meg and I have known each other for some time. She is continually proved wrong in the way she treats them. She's too soft. You know, one of them killed her first husband.
Killed him?
Yes, he was stabbed during a riot. I thought that would teach her something. But only a short while later, there she was, being as nice to them as ever. She'll never learn.
I don't think I'm going to make a very good officer. I try, but I just seem to muck everything up.
Is there anything else you'd like to do?
You don't think I'll be very good either, do you?
Perhaps you've got the wrong kind of personality for this work.
That answers my question.
I don't honestly think you've got the self-discipline for it. Well, there are lots of other things you can do. This job takes your time. Your whole life has to revolve around it. Would you be happy living like that?
If I could do it well, I know I would be. You are.
Of course. But it suits me.
Have you ever wanted to do anything else?
No. I've never wanted to do anything else.
Good morning, Julie. Good morning, Mr. Andrews.
Morning, Mrs. Davidson. I've been waiting to have a word with you.
Oh, dear. I hope you haven't had any more trouble with the women.
No, just the opposite, in fact. They've decided to come back to classes again.
Oh, I am glad. Is it because you dropped your objections to Baxter's parole?
That did have something to do with it, yes.
I take it you did have that word with B. Smith.
I know it looks like I let her dictate to me, but it wasn't really like that. I mean, it wasn't until I talked to Smith that I realized how much they hated in here. I mean, to them, keeping someone in for whatever the reason was just about the worst thing that I could do.
I wondered how you get around that.
Keeping Baxter in wouldn't have accomplished anything at all.
I still wonder how they managed to find out about your report in the first place.
That doesn't really matter now. What does matter is that Smith talked to the others and they've agreed to come back to classes.
You've accomplished a great deal with Baxter, you know. She's eager to learn, and I think she'll keep it up.
She almost seems like a different person.
Well, any change in her has been brought about by your help. You shall be very pleased.
One of the nicest things is knowing that she's not going to a dead end. The job that Mrs. Morris got for her means that she's got a chance.
She'll make a good careers officer. She cares about the women. As a matter of fact, she's picking up Georgie this morning and taking her to the supermarket to make sure she settles in all right.
Well, then I'm sure things will go well.
I'm coming! Yeah, what do you want?
Well, I've come to collect Georgie. I'm driving her to work.
Oh, you're that do-gooder from the prison, aren't you?
Do you tell her I'm here, please?
I wouldn't tell that bitch the time of day.
Georgie, it's Mrs. Morris. Hurry up or we'll be late.
You're wasting your breath. She's not here.
Not here? She knew I was picking her up.
Oh, yeah? Well, you never can believe anything that little creep says.
Well, where is she?
How should I know? She blew through. Now, take off, lady. I'm
Well, you
going
must have some idea of where she is.
I wouldn't have a clue, and I couldn't care less. Now, get lost.
Come in.
Could I have a word with you, please, Mrs. Davidson?
Yes, of course, Sally. Sit down. Now, what's the problem?
Me. I'm the problem.
Oh, surely things can't be that bad. Most people take some time to adjust. After all, this isn't a normal job, you know.
Look, I'm not going to adjust, I can tell, and I have tried. Honestly, I have. I just don't know how to handle the women. Miss Bennett's tried to show me, and I've tried to watch the others and see how they handle things, but all it's done is confuse me.
Don't you think that's rather natural in the beginning?
The women find it very easy to make a fool of me.
Well, that's just something you'll have to learn to guard against.
I want to hand in my resignation.
Well, that's a very drastic move. After all, you haven't been here very long.
I've been here long enough to know I want to resign.
I understand how you feel, but why don't you take a day or two to think it over?
Look, I don't need any time to think about it. I just want to leave. I can't stand in here anymore. I'm sorry. I've got to go.
You're in a bit of a hurry, aren't you?
Get out of my way.
Okay, keep your shirt on.
You and your mates can find someone else to pick on in future. I'm through.
You can't blame us, you know. Maybe none of this would have happened if you'd treated us with a bit of respect. Okay, we're all here in prison, but there are some decent people here. If you hadn't have pushed us, love, we wouldn't have pushed you.
Decent. I just want to get out of here.
Yeah, don't we all? I just wish it was so easy for the rest of us.
Mr. Andrews, I was thinking of patching this up. What do you reckon?
Oh, I don't think so, Lizzie. Sorry. You'll be able to make another one, though.
I don't know why you'd bother to patch it up anyway. It's terrible.
Oh, it's not terrible. It's just not great, that's all.
All right, ladies, it's fine. Lizzie, your next one will be even better.
Well, that wouldn't be hard.
This is good, Doreen. The men will heartily show once it's fine.
Yeah. Well, come on, Lizzie. I was only having a bit of fun with you. You didn't really mind about that old pot, did you?
Nah, of course not. You know, Dor, if I was not ever here, God, I'd miss you.
What are you on about, Lizzie?
Nothing, I'm just being a bit sentimental.
How are things over here?
Oh, I reckon we've resurrected all we can. I fixed your thing for you.
Oh, thanks, Bea.
Well, we're just about finished. I'm going to take these pots over to a friend of Mrs. Davidson's. She's got a kiln that she's letting us use.
Oh, great.
Hey, did you see many visitors when you was out there today?
Just a couple. Why?
Well, no reason. I was just making conversation.
What are you carrying on about, Lizzie?
Nothing, Bea.
Well, I reckon you're going senile.
All right, ladies, all the mended pots over here, please.
Oh, Mr. Andrews, do you reckon I could help you carry some of them down to your car?
Oh, thanks, Lizzie, but I think I can manage.
Please.
Mr. Fletcher, okay if Lizzie helps load these into the car?
No, I'm sorry. We've got to keep moving. Come on, Birdsworth. We haven't got all day.
Oh, Mr. Fletcher, I would so enjoy a drop of fresh air, and I won't be long.
All right, but don't take all day about it, okay?
Well, it's a nice break for me to have a visitor.
So sorry, I really must apologise.
I don't understand. Well, what do you have to apologise for?
Well, that's very nice of you, but someone must accept the responsibility. I'm afraid that person should be Georgie. But right now, I have no idea where she is. She was so keen, too. I thought she'd do this.
Georgie Baxter? She's here.
But I was supposed to pick her up this morning. Well, how? I don't suppose that matters. All that counts is that she's arrived.
Well, as a matter of fact, you were dead right about that young lady. I will admit I had misgivings, even after you told me all that had happened to her. But she arrived, not only on time, but early.
Thanks for giving her the chance. If it's okay by you, could I go and have a word with her?
No, that's fine.
Hello, Georgie.
Oh, Mrs. Morris. I just think a few weeks ago I wouldn't have heard you.
I'm glad you managed to get yourself here this morning. I was really worried when you weren't at that address you gave me.
Oh, look, I'm sorry. I would have let you know, but I didn't know where you lived.
Oh, that's all right, now that you're here.
I didn't think I wasn't going to turn up. This job means so much to me.
I'm glad to hear that. Now, have you got a place to live?
No, nothing permanent, but I'm going to try and find somewhere. I want to live on my own. I don't want to mix with creeps like that anymore.
You're starting out all right. I think you're going to make it.
I'm sure going to try. Mrs. Morris, I don't want to be rude, but I really got to be working, not talking.
Yes, well, I'll let you get back to it.
I've got a lot to do this morning.
I'll see you soon.
I'll let you know when I find a place. Mrs. Morris, thank you.
Bye, Georgie.
Bye.
God, Mr. Andrews, making them pots was good.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, Lizzie. I'm sorry that yours was ruined.
Oh, well, Dawes was right anyway. It wasn't that great.
I did have a few things wrong with it.
I'll do better next time.
Thanks, Bill. Lizzie, this one's mine.
Oh, isn't that beaut? I've never been in one of these. Must be lovely driving around with all this open.
Yes. Well, I think you better get back. You told Mr. Fletcher you wouldn't be long.
Good of Davo's friend, wasn't it, to let us burn the pots?
I think you mean fire the pots, Lizzie.
I suppose so. It's a lovely day. You are lucky to be staying outside.
Lizzie, I think you better get back. You don't want me to get into trouble, do you?
Of course not. Anyone think I was trying to escape or something?
I know you're not trying anything. I just don't want either of us to get into trouble, that's all.
Okay, I'm going. You can watch me go if you want to, and then you'll know I'm not up to anything.
Come on, I'll walk you back to the gate.
But it's not exactly miles away, you know. I don't reckon you trust me.
Of course I do.
Where do you reckon an old bird like me could escape to anyway? See ya.
See ya.
Now when I put that... Just what I needed. A beautiful day and lots of visitors.
Hey, Doreen. I got a note for you.
A note? Who'd be sending me a note? Well, maybe someone fancies you, love. You know, a secret admirer.
Oh, yeah.
What's it say? That's better than a secret admirer any day.
You know, I'm really looking forward to the next 10 minutes.
Me too.
Come on, ladies, you can move a bit faster than that.
Oh, hell, I wish it was Vera.
Aim up.
Yeah.
Birdsworth. Bryant.
Here.
Burns.
Here.
Come on, Birdsworth, that's your name. Birdsworth.
Sorry, Mr. Fletcher, she couldn't make it.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, she's taken the day off.
You can't be blaming for worrying. I mean, she's a real desperate criminal. Look at her.
That's enough, all of you. Burns, you seem to know something about this. Where is she?
Well, I don't really know a thing, Mr. Fletcher. It's just that her note said that she needed a day off. No one would give it to her, so she took it anyway.
That's enough, all of you.
At least you can't say she was rude. At least she left a note.
He used to give me roses. I wish he could again. But that was on the outside, and things were different then. On the inside, the sun still shines, and the rain falls down. But the sun and rain are prisoners too when morning comes around. Last night I dreamed we were together, sharing all the love we'd known, till I had to face the nightmare roses here are prisoners too. When morning comes around,